It's June 27th, 2021, and welcome to episode 61 of the Baby Metal Podcast. We gather in the podcast Discord server on alternate weeks to discuss news and thoughts on the past and future projects of Baby Metal. We invite you to join us, whether you're a longtime fan or have only just arrived. I'm Paul, and I am joined by Kevin.
Sad credit card noises.
And Maggie.
Num 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 num.
For those not in the know, Maggie's also eating dinner.
Yes, I've got to fill my tummy somehow.
Yes. So, yes, we have various things that we can talk about. So the main thing that happened was the, what did they call it? The international premiere stream of the Budokan shows.
Worldwide.
Yes. So we will talk about that. There's a couple of other things we can talk about. And we also got an announcement, finally, of the last edition of the 10 Baby Metal Years, whatever it is, album, I guess. It's kind of stunning in some ways, but anyway.
In some ways.
Some yen kind of ways.
Yeah, I figured that's what you meant.
So, yeah, I guess basically the main thing we will talk about is just the stuff that surrounded the streams. So there were, WoW played like the second installment of their 10 Baby Metal Years celebration thing called Legend. They played that first. It was an hour and 15 minutes. That's pretty long. And then after that, we had the official stream from Baby Metal, the Budokan shows. So many things overlapped between the two. It sounds like I am the only one among us that watched the WoW one. So maybe I'll talk a little bit about it, but maybe I'll skip the things that are in common, and we can talk about that later.
Good idea.
That sounds good.
What WoW did last time we talked about this, I think they had an intro, which was sort of selections from night 2 of this. There were 10 of these shows, and so we got certain parts of those shows. The stream that just happened, the stream 2, was, I think it was what was it? Night. I looked this up. Night 4. So these were, at least primarily, they were from night 4. They were shows from February 2021, so that could have only been night 3 to 6, and the gong at the end looked like the night 4 gong. So, but essentially it was just the show. So there was an intro, and they opened it up with "In the Name of," and the set list that you would expect basically from nights 3 and 4.
Right.
So it was not, even though some of these songs are in common with what they showed before, it's still, it's a different rendition of them. It's on a different night. So, for one thing, when they did, it was Road of Resistance, where Sue didn't make it back to the center the first night. She made it back this time. So, and we could also see that we talked about this before. I think that they have these flags in Road of Resistance, and at a certain point they're using them as props, but then they sort of like toss them into the moat that's kind of around the stage.
Right.
Yes.
Sue was very she sort of like harpooned it and
Aggressively.
seems like she did it again this time too. So that's 2 staff members down.
Yeah, I was looking for it.
But different. Okay, so Syncopation. They played Syncopation. That one, that's different, I think.
Yeah.
3 and 4 is actually where they played From Dusk Till Dawn, but that did not make it into the WoW broadcast.
Yeah,
So,
of course you're going to have to pay for that one.
Yeah. What else? I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure that there's a much more specifically to say about this that we won't cover when we talk about the live ship stream. But it was good. My feeling was, seeing them both, that the live ship stream was better, actually. So if you're choosing only to see one, that was the one to see.
Yes.
Yeah, in terms of what made it better.
Yeah.
Well, I think mostly, I guess I was looking kind of at like the shot choices, the camera work and that kind of stuff. I was impressed with the WoW one, and I was more blown away with the live stream one.
Sure.
I keep saying live stream. It wasn't actually, of course, a live stream. It was a stream that we all saw at the same time. But
Right.
it's the one that they did on the stream was actually the last one. That was actually night 10. So they had all of their, they were able to kind of like improve throughout the shows, and we got the best one on the stream.
Definitely.
So that probably contributed.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, yeah. So maybe that's probably enough about the WoW one. There was they basically they played that, and then there was like a 15-minute break after the WoW thing ended, before the stream started. And so we can talk a little bit about that. The stream was on LiveShip. It was the company, and on the side they had a little chat box, and there was a tab in there that had like a merch tab.
Yep.
Anyone want to talk about the merch that we had? Special stream only merch.
The crate.
Yeah.
The big old hunkin' box.
Bit of the loot crate.
Yeah, a loot crate, essentially. Yeah. I mean, it looks really cool, and it's really nice. I mean, it's really big. Or at least I think it looks really big.
It's not that big.
Oh, really?
It isn't all that big. But it is, somebody did test this out with, so first of all, it's relatively easy to identify that crate and buy one that does not say Baby Metal on it.
Yeah.
the brand, just, you mean?
Yeah. So people have done that, and you can actually see that the one boxes fit perfectly in there. I mean,
really?
Like it is the right shape for the right size for that.
Oh, that's cool.
So
you are, however, paying a 4,000 yen paint tax. It's about double the cost of the standard gray crate you can get on Amazon.
Yeah. But it's quite possible it's double the coolness too.
Yeah. I mean, it does. I mean, and honestly, someone posted a picture of it in the chat, and it actually does look really, really cool. It's the gold and black motif that's been used for the 10 years and stuff. And I mean, like I said, it looks really cool. And probably, I don't know about the whole worth it thing, but like, I guess if you do literally get every single, the one collector's edition that comes out, which I know there are people that do, it might be worth it. But like for me, I wouldn't do it, only because I only get like the stuff from the shows that I've actually been to, which is not many, but so I like to just have them displayed in general. But I mean, for those that do, I mean, if you're needing just a place to put them and have a really neat like footrest that says Baby Metal on it, then be like, hey, would you like to watch a movie? And I've got plenty of choices of Baby Metal here. Let's pick it up and let's go.
Yeah. Pick your favorite version of Gimme Chocolate.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah. But yeah, no, and actually it also folds down, so it becomes quite small.
To be stored.
Yeah. So if you want to store your crate in a bigger crate of Baby Metal stuff that you put in your closet. Yeah, I think I might have been tempted, except for the fact that it's big and I'd have to ship it. I mean, even if it's folded small, it's still kind of big. So
yes.
Anyway, it was kind of funny. That was the only merch thing in the tab.
Well, not necessarily true. So we talked about those stickers.
Yeah.
That you could send. Those were in fact paid stickers.
Yeah, I heard about that. I didn't actually look into that myself because I basically hid the chat so I could watch the thing. But
wasn't it just for the chat though?
Yeah, exactly.
It is just for the chat.
So what did you learn about the stickers?
Well, so they're actually just like line stickers, or if you're familiar with Twitch, like sending bits on Twitch, you paid 500 yen and you get to send whatever sticker you just paid 500 yen to slap into the chat.
I see.
It's just a way to monetize the chat.
Or flex. One way or the other.
Flex that you bought a sticker.
Essentially. And with as fast as like those chats go, sometimes it's almost kind of pointless. But I mean, to each your own, whatever. That's just my opinion, obviously. But
like a super chat on YouTube Live. Like, this isn't an abnormal thing. Tons of live platforms have some sort of way to monetize chat.
Right. No, I've seen those before. Yeah. Like YouTube, sometimes when they're doing their live stream stuff, they have those things too. But Meh.
Yeah, I think we postulated that they might be free to use in chat, and we were incorrect.
Yep. We in the sense of Kevin.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and then I guess, well, we can probably just talk about the stream itself.
Yes, let's talk about the stream.
So I definitely would like to talk a little bit about Koba's intro. So we had the same kind of thing that we had like at Tokyo Dome, where the screen in the center. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and there's candles. It actually looked, the beginning of it looked a fair amount like the Tokyo Dome intro, but so Koba showed up and spouted a bit of lore about dystopia. What did it say? The year 2020 turned into a state of dystopia. Dystopia robbed us of our metal screams or our voices and forbade us to sing. But so it's not. I wonder to what extent this will be obvious. It'll probably be obvious for a few years yet, but essentially the way these shows worked were you weren't actually allowed to shout. I mean, like you couldn't
technically,
you couldn't yell, you couldn't sing
you weren't
along.
supposed to.
Right. So what Koba was doing essentially was working out with the audience like how you can express your how you can express yourself without using your voice, and so he pointed out, he said, the South audience, you will clap, and then he demoed clapping, and then the North audience will stomp, and then he demoed stomping, and that was actually very hilarious. the little bones guy.
Yeah, it was. It was cute.
And then he had the audience do a headbanging wave in a clockwise direction, which was which was also demoed.
That was cute.
It worked pretty well. We saw the audience do it.
Well, the thing is that around the whole the screen, it was actually going in a wave as well.
Right.
So you were basically just following along with the little bones guy on the screen too, because it was going up and down at the same time you were supposed to. It was kind of cool. And
they lit they had lights sort of following the audience around too. So I think that was probably pretty effective.
Except for everyone was still chanting "Baby Metal."
I don't think so. Well, no. So that's the thing.
Well, that's all piped in.
That was fake.
That's all piped in.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
Yeah. See, if you watch like football, soccer games, earlier on in this sort of like when they started, but when there was no audience, they would do the same kind of thing. They would sort of pipe in fake audience sounds. Yep. Mostly, I think it was just for the TV. I don't think it was actually even in the stadium.
It was just for the TV.
Oh, that kind of blows me away, I guess. I thought it was real. I don't know. Maybe that's why it made it seem so muffled sometimes, I guess. Yeah, it might explain a thing.
So they heard it. I think they heard it there, but it was over the speakers.
Right.
Yeah, because you weren't supposed to cheer, yell, do anything like that.
Yeah.
So I thought it is interesting because it is still all kind of lore coded, in a way, but they still sort of managed to work this out. Like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. And then at the end, there was the little thing, some strict guidelines. You have to wear both a mask and a savior mask. And when it's over, you have to follow the directions, return to your homes immediately to rave about tonight's performance. And then he demoed typing.
Online. Oh, that was so cute. His little, you rave about it online. His little fingers, came up and just I can't mouthfully talk, but the fingers just moving really quickly, like you're on a keyboard warrior. It was cute. I found it adorable.
Yeah,
they were trending on Twitter.
True, they were.
Excellent.
So I guess mission accomplished there.
I know. I was tagging everything when I was watching it. So
nothing they have done since their inception has convinced me that I'm wrong. That they're just a comedian group. But anyway, yeah. So that was basically the Koba intro, and then there was an actual sort of intro lore video that started the whole thing off. That basically talked about Metal Resistance final episode 10, and more stuff about dystopia. I think the intro video was actually a little bit different in the WoW. It was certainly shot differently, but I think it was actually the content was a little bit different because the intro video kind of fed right into the opener, and the opener was different between the two.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyone want to talk about the opening thing? We talked a bit about it when we first discovered what they had done.
Are you talking about Baby Metal Death or?
Yeah.
If that's not the opener on the next album, I will cry. Like, seriously. That was the coolest thing I have seen from them, to be blatantly honest. I mean, albeit if you have what is that called? Seizures.
Epilepsy?
Yeah, an epilepsy risk, yeah.
Epilepsy. So if you have epilepsy, please do not watch the beginning of this video. Because, oh my gosh. Because basically, like, the beginning of the video, it's a like 2-second montage of like every version of Baby Metal Death that they've done, with the drums beating in behind it, and it stops. And then it goes right back into it again. But you see like the 10-year stars on the 3 10-year stars around the track, essentially, with the girls on them. And they all have their savior masks on. And then it just goes right into the new Baby Metal Death, which is it's just, if you haven't heard it, we'll talk about it later, but take a moment to find a way to listen to it, because it's just awesome. Like, it's I don't know. Like, it's cool. Like, I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it to be used a lot more. It's just really cool. So then, like, so in the middle of it, which I think that portion, I think it was like a minute and something. It's not a very long intro. It's not very long at all. But there was a point where the girls had their eyes closed and they were just doing their thing, and then they all open them up at the same time. And then it has the Baby Metal logo in red. I think it was in red on the middle screen, which, if you guys aren't familiar with how the stage has been set up, there's the outer walk, then there's the inner walk, but then the inner walk actually has like a tier that goes up, and then the middle screen that's been hanging from the ceiling actually came down to meet the stage, which was utilized a lot through the show too. And so basically it was attached together like a cake, essentially. It's the best tiered cake. It's kind of best way to describe it. And then it had like the Baby Metal logo around it while it was like flashing and stuff. And it was just, it's just so cool. It was so neat. Okay, I'm done.
Yeah, it is interesting that like, so we talked a little bit about it when we first, like, when the show happened, because we heard a little bit of this intro has been used. I think it was used on 4 shows.
I think it was used in 4 and 5, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, 5 and 6. Excuse me.
It was in 5 and 6 and 9 and 10. Yeah, they call it on the Amuse site. This is actually referred to as Baby Metal Death Shin version. It was very effective that the sort of super staccato drums of Baby Metal Death, but then much more dramatic silence when they cut out than usual. So it was all very sort of robotic and metallic. And in fact, actually, it led off with a this like Baby Metal Death growl, except it was totally Dalekized, if that means anything to anyone. It just sounded like a Dalek saying Baby Metal Death. And then it started.
Oh, a Dalek.
Yeah.
Like Doctor Who Dalek.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, I get that reference. I totally get it. Okay,
yeah.
We're good.
But yeah, it was so like during the super staccato drums, they did this like unbelievably fast like review of photos. I mean, you can imagine what that looks like.
Like I said, it was about 2 seconds per.
Yeah, but it
had probably a good like
it was like
20 pictures.
Photos.
Yeah, it was a ton.
Yeah, it would be interesting actually just to frame by frame it to see the individual ones that they used, but I have not done that. It is an abbreviated version. It's not, they are not participating because they're busy, being crucified basically on their logos. So it is really just a short thing, but I think it was really effective. I also doubt. I don't think we're ever hearing that again. I think
I hope
that
so.
belongs.
I want it to. I wish it to. Please.
Yeah. Well,
hear my prayer. I want it. Anyway.
Yeah. I mean, I refer back to the prior episode where we talked about this. We had the same opinions, and they haven't changed.
I know. I realize that. I just, like I said, I just think it's rather effective. And it would honestly, if they do a tour, it would be a great opener for tour stuff. I really think so. But as you said, agree to disagree.
Yeah, fair enough.
I don't know. Never say never. I think at this point.
Well, with this group, yes.
They turned a whole song that was just used as a background interlude to spout lore. They made that a whole song on an album. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but
you're talking about Shine.
Yeah.
But this is essentially the first song on their first album. You know, I mean, it doesn't get much further back.
No, it might not release on an album.
Though.
Yeah, it might not release on an album. I mean, Metallica uses the Ecstasy of Gold to start their shows, and that's not a Metallica song, period. So
no, it's not.
You know, it's not unprecedented for a musical act to do something, to come out to something that's either not their own or have a hype track, that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
true.
And it would be very cool. It is super heavy.
That's
like
kind of what. That's what future metal essentially ended up being, was like the hype track for this last year. Yeah. So I don't know. I
could definitely see it. I can see it going both ways.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we talked. I think before, when we were just sort of like watching fan cams and stuff, it wasn't super clear what was going on. But now we could really see it much better. Mm-hmm. That they sort of rode. Well, I don't know if I'm not sure if they actually rode the cymbals, but they were sort of there. And then they did a really kind of cool laser surface. So there was smoke, but then a laser that made it sort of set it up looking kind of like water.
It was neat. It was red, wasn't it? I think it was red.
Don't remember. I actually have it playing in another window. I should go back and look. Yeah, it was red. And then the symbols kind of sank down, and they sort of vanished. And I am kind of curious to know what happened. So, like, in my mind, what I think, would have been funny, at least, is if the symbols sank down to the point where they could get off of them under the surface of that laser, and then sort of like cruise over to where they're supposed to be while they're sort of ducking down under the thing. But I don't know if that's actually what they did. But they essentially did appear. It went dark with blue lights. So they could get to where they needed to be, and so it didn't have to be a magic teleport, but. It looked very nice, though.
Speaking of looking very nice, I do want to point out that I think this is one of the nicest looking things they've released.
Yeah.
I agree.
Comparing the WoW to this, there's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm.
I may not have watched the whole thing through, but I've referenced it. Much higher bit rate on the stream. And I think, I mean, we're going to have to wait until we get the discs in hand, but this looks like the first thing they're going to release in actually 1080p and not 1080i, which is a pretty significant visual improvement. Because your 1080i is basically the same as 720p. So the stream was super high quality, and I'm hoping I'm right, and I'm hoping that we're going to get discs that are actually 1080p for the first time, because the difference is huge when you're watching it back.
Yeah, no, it is true. The quality is really, really good. Even on the stream. I mean, and the stream, so the stream ended up being, the data size is around like 5 gigabytes or something. So there was a lot of data that passed through. It's still.
Yeah, the bitrate was very high.
It's like, Blu-rays are usually like 25 or something like that. So it's whatever that is, 20%. But anyway, yeah, it visually looks very good. They've definitely, improved both on the production side and on the delivery side. So,
yeah, agreed.
Staying in that world, I think this is one of their better edited pieces too.
I wholeheartedly agree on that one. It was so much more pleasing to the eye. It really, really was. I think within the last few years, this is definitely the best that they've done as far as the editing is concerned. There wasn't
Yeah.
as much like choppy, like back and forth. A lot of it, I think a lot of it has to do because it was a centered stage and they didn't have to have a lot. There wasn't a lot of, I don't know, distance. I don't know how to explain it properly, but I don't know. But yeah, no, it was definitely a lot less choppy, I guess would be the best way to describe it.
Yeah, so the cuts were longer. That would be the editor way of saying that. It wasn't as hyper.
Mm-hmm.
Right, so that they held camera shots a little bit longer, generally speaking.
Mm-hmm.
And I also think the camera coverage was better. And I think to Maggie's point, a lot of that does have to do with the fact that it was a circular stage with no pit, and they could do a lot of cool stuff, like have more cameras for more coverage. And one thing I think that also was influenced by that is I think this is one of the best lit performances they've ever done.
Wow.
They were still able to do, a lot of their cool color, make everything red, make everything blue, all that kind of stuff. But even while they were doing that, they were able to keep really nice, really balanced white light on everybody performing, which is not something I've seen them necessarily care about before.
Mm-hmm. They definitely have a lot of sort of, I don't know how to describe them exactly, but sort of sweeping overhead shots. So they're dynamic. I mean, like it does, the camera moves, but it doesn't cut to something else immediately.
Right. A lot of it's stationary.
Yeah, well, like they remain in frame, but the drone flies around or whatever it is that's happening. There wasn't a lot of representation of the Kami band, but they weren't absent. I mean, they're sort of arranged around the outside, and they do show up and occasionally get shots of them doing things.
Yeah. There was one point where you could see Hideki's kit rotate towards the stage and back. So he had like a movement thing going on with him, which was kind of cool.
Mm-hmm. And that's actually one advantage of having like so many, they are releasing these things, which we will talk about. But we will have many chances to see, kind of the same thing performed, but from different vantage points potentially.
Yeah, absolutely. Momoko also got a lot of camera time.
Yeah. That is, I mean, it's probably not as much as Ma, but still significant. I mean, like there were plenty of times when it was just Momoko on the screen, which is not allowed if you were a photographer at a prior concert, right?
Right.
So
read into that what you will.
Yeah.
But it was nice to see more of that. I think that also helped. It probably added to the edit being a little less jumpy. Yeah. Like, and being able to linger on shots long because, maybe that directive is just gone.
Well, I mean, she's been the only Avenger this whole entire chapter. So, I mean, it's not like,
Well, I don't know that matters.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the rule wasn't based on that, I don't think.
Yeah. From where we're sitting, they don't exist. They're like Kami band, right?
Right.
That hasn't changed. We haven't gotten the lore to change that precedent yet. But visually, you can see that they aren't isolating that as much, which is really nice. I think that it really helps balance the look of everything.
Oh, for sure.
You were able to see the choreography quite well. I mean, like, I'm not sure exactly what it was that makes it different, but it could be partly that there was no audience in the way for sure. And they're all in a relatively compressed space, and there's nothing blocking the cameras, but you could really see you could see the choreography well, and it was quite precise. I mean, like it was really it was pretty impressively performed as well. Like even these old songs that we know well, there's a certain sort of like I don't know, looseness that they had when they were kids that they don't have now. It's much more. It's still it's effective, and they're doing the same things in a sense, but it seems more intentional.
Yeah.
So
10 years of experience.
Yeah.
Right.
The stage was great. The fact that we talked about this a little bit before too, when we first heard about this, but the stage is a big video screen, and they used it very effectively.
Yes, very much so. Many times there was awesome stuff to in correlation with the performances. It was really
Yeah.
neat.
Yeah, they did a really good job taking advantage of the space. And
Mhm.
I think invoking the feel of the original Budokan stage they used, because it is very similar, but you can tell it's very modernized now and more even a more refined version of what they were doing
Right.
all those years ago.
Actually, I was just looking at it. I don't think there are guardrails.
No,
There were.
they're-
They're like knee high.
yeah,
Okay.
they're very tiny.
Yeah, they're there, but they're like knee high.
Right. So if you hit them, they don't keep you from falling. They just make you trip into
Right.
the pit.
Right.
Perfect.
Mm,
Exactly what you want.
yeah.
I do want to call out the audio quality. I think this was
It was
mixed
also
very
very
well.
good.
It was very,
Mhm.
very good.
Yeah, it sounded
Um,
really nice.
Great highs, not overpowering bass, good mids.
Mhm.
The
Ooh,
guitar mix was really
bass.
good. Guitar mix was really good. Vocal mix I thought was excellent. Moa was very high in the mix as well. You could hear her
Yes.
always.
Yes.
Yeah.
More of
This is
that.
going to be I think their best set of shows. If the other 10 that they're releasing on Blu-ray for this are done by the same people at the same standard, this is going to be the definitive collection to have, I think.
Yep. Yeah.
If you're looking for the best production from top to bottom.
Mhm.
Yep. Yeah. Let's see. So, what else? They went into IDZ,
Mhm.
straight out of Baby Metal Death, which we knew that they were going to do, but
Mhm.
that also that fits together nicely. So they, in the other shows, the IDZ was actually way at the end, but they pulled it up because the transition between Baby Metal Death and IDZ worked very well.
Yeah.
Mhm. I don't know if maybe they did this on purpose or not, but this is a very nostalgic. I mean, I know the whole entire thing is supposed to be like a nostalgia trip, but this one felt a little bit more like it was like that was the point of it, I guess.
Well, the whole series of concerts was to call out their 10 years of
Right.
history.
Well, I know that's what I'm saying. I realize that. No, I'm just the because like just in the order in which the songs were in for this show, it was just a boom, kind of like a boom, 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 boom sort of thing. Like you got IDZ, you got Gimme Chocolate, then Doki Doki Morning, Good Job, No Rain, No Rainbow. It was kind of, and then towards the end, you had more of the more like what I would guess called
Crowd anthems.
bread and butter sort of concert show, like Distortion, your Papaya, your Megitsune, Karate Head. Well, Headbanger, I guess, has been kind of more of a recently added thing, but I don't know. Like the very, very beginning of it felt like a whole big nostalgia trip to me. I was like, oh, hey, yeah, okay. Oh, wow, okay. Yeah, that's what I kind of got from it. Is it was just really cool to kind of. It's like, oh yeah, this is from when they were tiny tots.
I wonder if there's anything they could have put after Baby. I'm guessing it's Baby Metal Death that did that, but
Probably.
Potentially.
yeah. So they followed in the name of in the other shows with Distortion. So there is I guess there is a kind of a distinction between the shows in that this one did lead off with the old stuff rather than leading off with the new stuff.
Mm-hmm. I really enjoyed the balance of this set list between classic content and Metal Galaxy stuff.
Yeah.
I thought this set list in particular really resonated with me in that way.
I think at the beginning of the WoW IDZ, there was another sort of like retrospective still photos. I guess on the stream they didn't do the intro video, right? Because they jumped straight in from Baby Metal Death, and so that we didn't get the red guitar going up and that kind of thing, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
It went straight into IDZ. Yeah.
Yeah. So if you were to watch the WoW stream, you do get the sort of like standard intro video to IDZ that had some nice sort of nostalgic stills.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess those nostalgic stills are not the thing that gave you the nostalgic impression because it didn't happen in the show you watched.
No. It was just the songs in and of themselves, just in the order that they were, was just I don't know, just kind of hit differently. I guess it was very just.
It felt
nostalgic.
very familiar.
Yeah.
Very comforting to kind of be where they were at, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But I think we could talk about some of the performances here. I mean, it was pretty standard stuff.
Yeah.
Obviously, the two I want to talk about and call out are GJ and No Rain, No Rainbow.
Mm-hmm. I do want to mention something with the Doki Doki Morning, though. I really appreciated the fact, because, you know, we had mentioned about the stage having, you know, the projection pictures on it. At the very beginning of the song, they use the old teleportation symbol from their that they used at the beginning of the song as the underside during the scream, and I thought that was so cool. I thought that was neat.
Yeah, they really used the stage effectively as a screen. Between that, what we can talk about in No Rain, No Rainbow, they used all the Legend logos during IDZ, popping in and out of that, and, you know, lots of other things that I'm definitely forgetting. They did use that very effectively. But I do want to talk about these two songs because I think they're worth talking about, right?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So we talked about them already a little bit when we knew they happened, and from the little bit we did see. But now that we've actually seen the real performances of them, what do you guys think?
Oh, I thought it was adorable. Like, I really liked. Well, I think the intro video for it, GJ, was a really cute little explanation of, you know, why they were there, which was neat. And yes, give me more Moa. Give me
so
more Moa.
we should actually say what it said, though. So what it said is, long time ago at the Tenkaichi Metal Budokai, a metal cheer squad entertained and ramped up the energy in the crowd during intermission. The 4 guardian deities had hands made of steel, and we each positioned in the north, south, east, and west. A goddess existed who inspired those guardian deities and all who were present at this sacred site to clap their hands of steel. Can you hear it? And then you can sort of hear in the background like the GJ beat. Yeah, the beat is coming. Are you all ready to clap? Which I thought was kind of interesting too, because it does cast it as a kind of a cheerleading thing, which is what it sounds like. And in fact, actually, you know, I think that's, you know, this is a rhythm that you hear at sports shows.
Well, I mean, the song kind of is a cheer in and of itself, sort of.
But anyway, yeah, they set it up so that the four participants, the Baby Bones kids or whatever they are, were, you know, had a kind of a lore role, being inspired by Moa.
Yeah, you know, like I said last time when we talked about this, I thought this was a pretty genius way to do this old stuff and not have it be kind of weird,
and not have it be just a solo,
and not have it just be solo. I mean, it's still just a solo. I think a good contrast with this is how they effectively use the 4, you know, Baby Bones kids. You can contrast that with how ineffective I think it was having, 7 people on stage for the Halloween show a couple years ago. The Dark
Night Carnival.
Dark Night Carnival. Yeah. I think that's an example of how not to use that effectively, and this is a great example of how they can use that effectively.
Yeah.
I mean, it fits with the, you know, the content of the song and what the songs are all about. All of the Black Baby Metal songs, right? Yeah, super cool.
Yeah.
And I do need to say this is, I think, the definitive version of this song now for me. You know, I'm sorry, Yui fans, but this is just a really special performance of it. And this is a theme I think throughout the whole show that I picked up on, is just, you can tell they're all so happy to be there and doing this. Like it's a whole nother level of energy and excitement and love for performing that I just haven't seen from them in years, since they were much younger.
Yeah. Like Moa was even being like goofy in her very Moa way. Like, I can't hear you and you're not doing it loud enough.
There was just in case people, you know, are actually maybe we should say that it's probably not a great idea to be listening to us talking about this if you haven't seen it. But in case you haven't seen it, there is a call and response in the middle, where Moa, you know, is actually sort of like trying to encourage different parts of the audience to do things, you know, like you would see in Tokyo Dome or whatever, you know, where they sort of like point to sections of the audience and say, all right, well, you clap now. I mean, I'm sure everybody saw this, but it was so, it was really sort of like going back to the Moa that we knew from Sakura Gakuin.
Yes,
it was totally her there again. It was not Moa Metal. It was Moa Kikuchi.
Yes, absolutely. That's the best way I think you can describe it.
Yeah,
the energy, the sass, and the way she's just working the crowd.
Sass, yes,
is what you just haven't seen since SG. I think from her, which is why this is, I think, the definitive version of this song for me now. It's just incredible.
It was good. It was really good. I was just like, I was having the like, oh my God, this is so cute. Like the whole entire time. I'm just like, oh, that was adorable. Oh my gosh, they're so cute. Oh, like I was doing that the whole entire performance of that. And I'm just like, this is cool. I like it.
Yeah, definitely. This is a much watch. This makes the whole show for me.
Mm-hmm.
I was surprised too. Like I wasn't expecting this. So
no, I wasn't either.
That was the other thing that was kind of nice about it was it really, I wasn't expecting to be surprised. and was.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, there was more attempts at sleuthing to identify the four Muse kids. I still don't think there's anything conclusive out there, and you can't say anything for sure. There's one pretty convincing screenshot of one of them that leads me to believe that Neo from Sakura Gakuen was taking part of this. That's the only one that I would feel comfortable saying was probably there.
I think there were a few times when you could kind of see at least the faces of some of them.
There was a couple of them. Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we're going to need more data. So hopefully when we get OD from earlier in the concert series, maybe we'll get a better idea.
Right.
No Rain, No Rainbow. What a great song.
We haven't heard this for a while, right? I mean, like Legend S, what was the last time, or did it?
Legend S, yeah. Also a great version of this song. But I think I think for a lot of people, this song has some emotional baggage to it just because of when they played it last at Legend S, with the departure of a member and the death of a guitarist, the song kind of hits differently now. And it's a cool moment. I want to talk about too, they used a prop effectively here for the first time. And they used the LED stage again, really effectively here in the middle of this song to reveal the prop. So I guess, what's going on here is, start singing the song. We get to a break. The lights go down and there's I'm calling it a prop piano because I don't think it was a real piano off to the side of the stage. And they use the LED stage to kind of light a pathway of light for her to walk from the center of the cake stage over to the piano to sit down and start miming, playing it, and singing. And that was a pretty special moment.
Which I do think that she did a very good job in miming.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So who knows? She might have actually been playing, but there's video cuts and you can't see the hands, so you're not gonna actually know.
Well, and of course, there's a lot more piano than when she's sitting at it. So, someone is playing the other piano.
So the difference in this moment for me between this and the Legend M Shine guitar moment is we never see your fingers. We can still have the debate on whether or not Moa was playing during Shine at Legend M. What you can't debate is that the strings were moving on the guitar, so she was actually interacting with an instrument. We don't have that level of detail on this edit of this song.
Right.
I don't know. I thought the use of I got the point of why they did it, and it's cool, but it felt awkward to me. It really did.
Using the piano?
The piano at all?
Yeah, using the piano at all. I felt it felt awkward to me. I guess maybe just because I don't feel like it was used long enough.
Yeah. I can get that.
Yeah, it was super short. I mean, like she was only there for like a sentence.
It was a little shorter than I would have liked, and it just made it feel weird to me.
I think it would have felt weirder though if she were there longer.
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Wait, what? You're agreeing with me, Kevin?
I am agreeing with you on this. Yeah. So because they did it well enough, I'm a little frustrated that they didn't go all out on it. If that makes sense. So I'm gonna describe the piano, right? It looks like a piano. It looks like a baby grand, but it's completely like spray painted gray and black and baby metalized,
like stone or something.
To the point where it looks like a prop to me.
Well, and the reason why it looked like it was supposed to represent like a crumbling cityscape. It was supposed to be like part of that whole thing because there was a montage before No Rain, No Rainbow that shows a lot of like crumbling buildings, like a skyscape city, sort of like something you would see in the Distortion video. And it was all the gray and steel look color scheme, and it was supposed to match that. So I totally got the reason why it looked like that, because there was no,
I get the reason. The reason isn't my problem. My problem is that it looks like a wooden prop.
Oh, it looked like a toy. Okay.
It doesn't feel like a piano.
Okay. Fair enough.
Now,
fair enough.
had they raised, a black Baby Grand Yamaha logo visible piano and gave me a nice camera shot of her pushing the keys, I'm way more sold on the whole idea of her walking over there doing that.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Except
yeah.
I would. I think they did exactly like the right level of pretending here. Like I think if they tried to sell it as realistic that she was playing the piano, I would have liked that less. I mean, this is clearly, it's a prop. She's doing it for a visual effect, but she's not pretending to play it, and she didn't stay there very long, and the piano goes throughout the song.
No, and I still love the moment. I think it's really cool, and I'm really glad they did it. So I guess I'll disagree with you on that point, Maggie.
Okay, fair enough.
And it's all Extrapan, references.
Yeah.
And like they're talking about.
Well, that's true, I guess.
It's been a while since the Endless Reign of Dystopia was how the video intro started. Endless Reign is like
the Endless Reign was the
Right.
That thing was in January, wasn't it? It was for New Year's, wasn't it? That was the New Year's thing. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So this was before the 10 years. Okay. So, okay. That might have been a reference. All right, cool.
Well, yeah, but just mentioning Endless Reign, those two words together, and it's Extrapan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
And and the piano goes with them, I think.
Mm-hmm.
It does. So I mean, it's cool. I really enjoyed the moment. I thought the cut to hard silence when she is done playing piano and walks back to the stage, they just cut to hard black. They project a logo on the top of the piano and stay there, and it's dead silent for 15 seconds or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Before the song comes back. I thought that was really powerful. I thought that was really neat.
Mm-hmm.
And something they'd never done before, which made it really interesting. I think that goes back to Paul's point about enjoying being surprised.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did a couple things tonight that they hadn't really done before, which I thought was really refreshing.
It is going to be interesting to listen to that on, like, if you just put in the CD.
Yeah.
It might be slightly long.
It might be well, maybe, I wonder if they'll edit it slightly differently. I wonder if they'll cut that silence out on the track or shorten it.
I saw a conspiracy theory on Reddit that like the number of seconds of silence was supposed to correspond to the number of months in which they weren't able to play or something like that.
Yeah, that's some tinfoil hat stuff there, I think.
Sounds sweet, but
it's kind of funny at least. Yeah, no, it was both of those. I was not, we knew that these were played at these shows, but it's a totally different thing getting a show report.
The experience is pretty incredible.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the show for me, I think, was just kind of went on as expected.
Yeah.
We knew the set list, and it was Baby Metal being Baby Metal and being excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Utilizing the stage.
Yeah. One thing about Distortion, it bothers me. I understand that they did what they did or whatever on purpose, but you might as well be watching this on a monochrome screen. It is just red. It is red.
Yeah, it's just red the whole time. Yeah. That's the only time the lighting was not excellent.
and of course, red, just by its physical properties, makes it difficult to pick out detail.
Yes.
So
yes.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, it looked cool in person, and that's what these are for, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah, I don't know if it's true though. I'm not sure. I don't think I had many other things to specifically call out about the other songs.
Well,
Karate Everybody Jump was back. It's the first time they've done that in a couple years, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
I was
in
pretty impressed with the
chorus.
smoke effect on the stage as well too. Like there wasn't actual smoke, but they had smoke projected on the stage. It was pretty interesting.
Mm-hmm. During the only thing that I could probably pick out, which kind of made me laugh a little bit, and I'm not really sure what had happened, but during Papa Ya, like at the very beginning, I don't know what Sue was doing. She was getting into the song, which is great, but she was singing the beginning like way differently than she normally does. Like it was like a lower, I like I said, I don't know musical like terminologies and stuff, but she was singing in a lower tone. And like the way that she sang some of the words was like, girlfriend, what are you doing?
I didn't pick up on that.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't
really?
notice it.
Oh,
Yeah.
I picked it up right away. I was just like, it was almost, it wasn't off key, but it was just awkward. It's the only way that I could say it. But it was awkward in a funny way because you could tell just by her face and the way that she was performing throughout that whole entire song, like she was getting into it, like kind of head bopping and stuff. So I just think it was because she was in the moment of that song. And I think it kind of, I don't want to say messed her up, but it it made her do different things than she's used to. But
Well, maybe
like
she
I
was
said, I
super
kind of find
excited.
it amusing. I think so. I think so. Well, plus
Yeah.
Papa, yeah, it's just like, yeah, I don't know.
That's just a theme throughout the whole show. They were just on a whole nother level. They were at
Yeah.
11 the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And
Mhm.
like I said, at a level I haven't really seen since they were way younger.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, the joke I was going to make was that, she was super excited because this is the last time she's ever going to need to sing this song.
I don't know about that. I think that there's another one that I think we'll probably see a lot of, like the Met Gitsune of Metal Galaxy. I think is Papa. Yeah, we'll see that a
Yeah,
lot
yeah.
more. I think
Oh, yeah, yeah.
because of the crowd interactive.
But if the people who worry about them disbanding were right, then that was
Ah,
it. Night
right.
10, Papaya, it's done.
I see.
Well, then she'd be extra excited after not having to do Megitsune anymore.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Another thing I was going to mention about the karate screen on the floor that was kind of cool was that they actually, it was sort of confusing looking, but they played video of like other performances
right.
of karate on,
Yeah.
on the floor. So Yui did show up, here and there
Mhm.
Yeah.
on the floor,
Sure.
which is pretty weird.
And I think, yeah, just another, wherever they had the opportunity to talk to the crowd and, interact on a level outside of performing, they took it.
Mhm.
More so than they have in the last couple of years,
Mhm.
which I think was also part of the reason we're feeling like this was a special performance and maybe nostalgic,
Mhm.
as it feels more in line with what they're seeing. And maybe, maybe this just has to do with they finally hit that point where they feel like they've fully recovered from the dark period, and transitioning Yui out and bringing in the Avengers, and they finally hit their stride in a
Mhm.
way that they had been trying to build to since, and we
Right.
know has been kind of a struggle for them from all the interviews we've read and things like that. So
Mhm.
it does feel like a corner's been turned, similar to the corner they turned when they kind of sprung back into life at Yokohama a couple of years ago,
Right.
right before Legend M, before Metal Galaxy came out.
Mhm. I was going to say there was one thing actually I kind of remembered during Megitsune. I can't remember what the terminology is, but when like Moa does her silly face thing to Sue, they were starting to do one and the camera turned off from it, and it made me sad because you could tell that they did do something, but it wasn't in the edit. And it was just like, what did they do? You could see them laughing, and like you could see Moa was starting to do something, and then the camera cut off and did like a distant shot. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, of course they would.
They intentionally never put that hengo. Yeah.
Oh, I know.
I think they slipped once, and I forgot whether it was Legend Metal Galaxy or the forum or something, but they moved away. Like, so the camera did not show this, except that you could still see the big screen behind. So
Right.
like the big
Aw.
screen showed it and it made it on the video.
Legend of Metal Galaxy, I think you could see Moa do an air kiss like super quick.
Mhm.
I think it was Legend of Metal Galaxy. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I mean, I remember looking for a similar kind of like, ear attack in Gimme Chocolate, and they also
Yeah.
they also cut away from that too. So
Yeah, I don't think she actually
Right.
did one though. It didn't look like it.
But yeah, we go through. She sings the Japanese version of the one again.
Mhm.
Did that at Legend Metal Galaxy too.
That was nice.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Then I think the other big thing to talk about is the end of Road to Resistance.
Mm-hmm.
Right? We talked about this before, but we actually got to see it now.
Mhm.
Right. So if you didn't catch the earlier episodes where we talked about this or know what was going on, they had 10 gongs surrounding this, or well, quote, air quotes, gongs surrounding the stage, painted with each of the logos for each of the episodes of Metal Resistance. And they ran around.
Do you not think they were gongs?
No. Their
Really?
gong budget would have had to be like $1 million to have 10 gongs that size. And you can't paint a gong. It ruins the sound.
I see. So they would have to buy disposable gongs.
Yeah.
Essentially.
And a gong that size would be hugely expensive.
Okay. They but
real
they moved
gong.
like gongs. I mean, I guess they were heavy enough.
Yeah, I mean, you can make something that simulates the weight out of a cheap aluminum
Yep.
or wood. And it'll still swing when you
Yeah.
hit them.
Yeah, essentially.
It would be kind of funny if it had been like a big gong pillow, though. Just didn't act anything
absorbs the
physically
mallet
like, yeah.
That would be pretty funny. But yeah, anyways, they ran around and rang each gong to big fanfare and counting on fingers and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Ending at the end with the Stairway to Metal Resistance, or what, Stairway to Living Legend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, there was I think this when was this video intro? I guess this was before Road of Resistance. They did a whole like lore thing, but they kept referring to having to ring the 10 count gong to mark the end of the battle.
Right.
And so that's what they were finally doing. They're running around and marking the end of the Metal Resistance.
Right. And this is a great version of the song. It follows the same theme of everybody is just so happy, bubbly, and energetic that you're not going to be able to contain your smile as you're watching it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
One thing I did notice while they were ringing the gongs that made me chuckle, one of the ending pyrotechnic boxes went off early.
It was the one for Sue's. So
Legend
it was like
S.
6 or
Yeah.
7.
Oh, it was the Legend S one?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the at the end they have the big explosion pop to signify the end of the show. One of the boxes that does that went off early right in front of Moa, and she kind of looked down at it and was like, "Oh, what was that?"
Yeah, and Sue did the same thing
Surprised her.
too.
Yeah, it was really funny.
It was a pretty good expression. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah, very good.
that was amusing. Well, I had to rewind it a few times because, like, I saw the thing go off, and then I'm like, well, was that what the reaction was towards? And then I rewound it a few more times. It's like, oh yeah, that was definitely it. That was not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
They were not expecting that.
Yeah, although it seemed a little bit like something they expected to happen didn't. It didn't seem like they were scared.
Mm-hmm.
But
Just
I don't think they were
startled,
scared.
maybe.
I don't think that was because I think it's because they were shooting the pyro was going off, the like 10-foot flame
yeah.
was going off when they were hitting these, and this was very clearly the explosion pop that they do at the end of the show.
Oh.
So I think this thing I think it went off early. Like it was wired incorrectly. So when they hit the pyro thing, it was wired into that system. So they got all the fire plus one of these little boxes.
Nice.
That's what I think happened.
I think they do have a long experience with just rolling with whatever happens,
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
So it wasn't. I remember, when we talked about it before, thinking that it might have gone on a little long, having them run around hitting all these gongs. But in actually watching it, it was fine.
Mhm.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it wasn't too drawn out.
Mm-hmm. So then, basically, it ended. The end of the stream was the end of the shows, right? It was the end of the last one, and so there was a final lore thing that we got that none of the prior shows had gotten.
Mhm.
And so, what it said was, Metal Resistance finally comes to a close after a 10-year battle. The 10-count gong marking the end of the battle will eventually turn into a signal of departure. The 3 metal spirits that have been shining since 2010, even if they were to leave Earth, would continue to shine forever in our hearts and across the metal galaxy. And of course, everybody's sort of like, you know what kind of, what they're trying to evoke from you.
Yeah.
It's like,
Mhm.
Okay, everybody, commence gnashing of teeth.
Yes.
Mhm.
A legend turns into a myth, which turns into a living legend. What lies ahead beyond the end of the stairway to becoming a living legend is something only the Fox God knows. And all of this was actually sort of portrayed in almost like a 1940s video or a 1940s movie kind of thing. There's a little bit of color in the middle, but it, it ends with something that I don't recognize, but I assume is essentially like the Japanese equivalent to Finn, at the end of a French art movie.
Mm-hmm. I think it said like, thank you, 10 years or something.
It said, thank you, 10 years Metal Resistance.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think they're planning on doing this, but if they had planned on ending, that's how they would do it. I think so. So anyway, but it was a very good stream.
Yes.
Yes, it was
that
excellent.
You can buy.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Had a lot of energy afterwards.
Yeah, a lot of energy to add to cart.
Yeah.
So almost immediately after the stream ended, or maybe as the stream was ending, we got the announcement of edition 10. We finally have edition 10 of the 10 Big Metal Years collection.
Which we kind of already had guessed what it was going to be, so...
Right. But
maybe
it had
not
been
to
a
this
question
extent,
mark.
But...
Yeah, we knew it would be Budokan related.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And that, to be honest, it really did. In most aspects, matches pretty much what I was suspecting it was going to be.
Yeah.
There are a couple more additions than I was expecting, but
that's what. Yeah, definitely. There's a lot of stuff. I didn't get any of it though. Although I'm like, I guess we should probably talk about what they actually are first.
Yes.
But I can go ahead and start us off then. So there is a standard version, which is nice. It is basically they're kind of splitting this up between different episodes, different Doomsday episodes. So the standard DVD Blu-ray version is just going to be episode 9 and 10. That set of shows. So potentially the stream, the live stream.
Right.
So they'll have the Blu-ray and the DVD for sale. There is a First Press limited edition version that will have both first and second episodes and then 9 and 10 episodes in a LP size jacket, kind of like what they did with the special editions for the Sun and Moon of Metal Galaxy. They'll have that.
Or Tokyo Dome.
Did they do that for Tokyo Dome too?
Yeah, the First Press limited edition of Tokyo Dome looks like this as well. It was a sort of 12-inch vinyl looking jacket with 2 discs in it.
That was before, well, kind of semi before my time, I guess. And they are actually doing a live album, which is cool. And it is actually going to be available internationally, which is awesome. So it'll be on sale international. I think they said it was going to be available in the US and the UK stores. So that's cool. There is a regular 2 CD live album, and then there's a 2 LP limited edition version. And they're relatively priced, which is nice, which is cool. Comes out in October, November, it seems like, for the live albums.
We should say though that is later than the regular release date. So the regular release date is September 29th. The live stuff is so the live stuff in the US and UK stores is coming out in October and November. I think the live album itself is coming out in Japan on September 29th, like everything else.
It is.
Oh, I gotcha. Yeah. Oh, okay.
So it's just the international ones that are later.
I gotcha.
Right. Yeah, I don't think these will sell out. They're all pre-order. I doubt there's a limit, and usually when there's a limit, it says so.
Right.
So you should be able to buy these until the end of time.
Right.
Yeah.
There might be some limit, but it's so high that it hasn't sold out already, which means I'm going to guess you can buy this for a long time.
The vinyl might disappear, but the CDs will never.
But the fact that nothing has, and it's been a few days already, leads me to believe that the quantities are huge, or there is no limit.
It could be. The international ones haven't gone on sale yet, though. They go on sale tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow. So there's this live CD, but I might consider getting that. That might be the only thing I do out of this. But the really big things, the ones that kind of people were expecting, although there was something that I wasn't expecting, which is the 1 edition, of course, which is always extensively expensive. But there's 2 the 1 editions. There is the limited edition. And then the complete edition. The limited edition, I believe, is I believe it's also the 9 and 10, 1 and 2 set.
It's not 9 and 10. It's 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, you do not get 9 and 10.
Oh, okay. It comes with 4 CD audio CDs, so 2 for each show, and then a 64-page photo book. And that is, it looks like it's like roughly USD 280, like $4 or something like that. But the 1 complete edition will have 5 Blu-rays, 10 CDs, so 2 for each show, and then a 104-page photo book, which I'm guessing is basically 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9 and 10. So basically the whole entire series.
Yeah.
It's the edition it's what we expected was going to be released at some point.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think Paul nailed it. I think exactly for the first time ever, the prediction was correct.
Woo!
Anyways, this is the expensive chonker.
Yeah, that's the expensive one. 660.
Right. 66,000. Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to clarify this, all of the shows were paired. If you hadn't been following along, 1 and 2 were the same, 3 and 4 were the same as far as the set list goes. And so like when we saw the WoW 1 and 2, we saw night 2 of that pair. And when we saw the stream 9 and 10, we saw night 10 of that pair. And I think, even though they're split up like this way, I think we're always going to get just one of those 2 nights.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So when you get the live thing that says it is 9 and 10, it's probably really just 10.
Most likely 10. Yeah. Cause they usually the whole entire, like their scheduling thing is they typically do the actual recording, like what they put on disc. Typically, unless it's like a special 2-nighter like Legend Metal Galaxy, they usually do the second night, typically.
Mm-hmm. I think in some cases they actually didn't even have the cameras in the first night. But if I were...
I've never seen a show.
Sorry?
I've never seen a show where they didn't record it every night.
Yeah. I thought that I had heard that they weren't there on 1 and they were there on 2, but at any rate, I would never have done that. So I would record everyone just in case.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to not record one.
Yeah.
Right. I agree.
But they are right, though. 98% of the time, most of the footage comes from the second night's recording.
Yeah.
Yep.
When the shows are the same.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the thing that I think is that surprised me a little bit. The one complete edition is it's eye-watering, but because they do, but they have all of the shows, all 5 set lists and audio CDs for all of them in the photo book. That's what I was kind of expecting, and 66,000 was kind of what I was expecting ish.
Yeah.
But the fact that they have the scaled down one is kind of a nice bonus. I kind of think of it that way.
Yes.
Like I was not expecting them to have one that was a little bit more reachable that way.
Mm-hmm.
They did make it accessible
good.
In a surprising way.
Yes.
I mean, your people are still going to complain that you can't just buy, if your favorites were nights 3 and 4, you can't just buy that.
Right.
And that's a fair criticism too, but they want to trick you into buying and making all the money they can.
Right.
So from a business sense, I get that.
Mm-hmm.
I think they did tactically choose the correct show sets to offer separately.
Mm-hmm.
It's 9 and 10 and 3 and 4. Is that right?
What are we talking
buy
about?
separately?
1 and 2 and 9 and 10.
1 and 2 and 9 and 10?
No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
No, wait, hold on.
So
I see what you mean. Yeah, okay.
For the
the smallest version of what you can buy.
Right. The very smallest one is 9 and 10. The second smallest has 1 and 2 as well.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's fair.
What those allow, that pairing 1 and 2 and 9 and 10 gives you both in the name of and BABYMETAL Death Shin, right?
Yes.
It gives you Homagenai and GJ, Starlight and No Rain, No Rainbow. So that's pretty good, actually, like as a distribution.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The things you do not get are Syncopation from Dusk Till Dawn, Onodari Daisaksan, Akatsuki, BMC, and Brand New Day. Those are the ones that are on the middle ones. So from Dusk Till Dawn, that one you just cannot get, except because it wasn't on WoW, and that WoW was the only one that represented 3 and 4, I think. So that one you can only get by getting the
complete
big
edition.
the 1.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So, ouch.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, these are great. I mean, like what we saw of 9 and 10, we were just raving about that for 15 minutes about like how great the audio and the video and the editing is.
Yes.
Yeah, we were talking offline. I didn't watch it live. 5 a.m. on the West Coast is just awful. Like it's too late to want to. It's too late to want to just stay up, and it's too early to want to set an alarm on a Saturday morning.
Yeah.
So I just bit the bullet and watched it watch the VOD later that morning.
Mm-hmm.
And we were talking before I had watched it, thinking, oh my God, 66,000 yen. Like, seriously, guys?
Mhm.
There's no way. And I had bought it before the show had finished, before I was done watching it. I'd already bought the complete edition. Just
Yeah.
because it is that good. It's a whole new level of video release that we haven't seen from them before.
Mm-hmm.
For all the reasons we talked about for the last hour.
It's definitely worth the money if you have the money.
Yeah. The pre-order, let's see, you can pre-order it for a month, basically. So the complete edition closes July 27th. The end of July 27th in Japan is the last time you can get the pre-order the complete edition. Basically, once at that point, then they may have a couple extras, but it'll sell out.
Mm-hmm.
And then the limited edition, you have a couple extra days till the 29th.
Mm-hmm.
There's some discussion in the chat about From Dusk Till Dawn about the fact that we do have another WoW stream coming, but I think we can guarantee that it will not be on that because the last WoW stream is going to be nights. I think I think it's 7 to 10, right? But it's at least From Dusk Till Dawn was in 3 to 4, so we're already past that point in WoW's coverage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bummer.
There are a couple of order bonuses too. If you get the low scale ones, like not the one things from certain stores, there are stickers and there's a phone stand from 7net, and there's if you buy it from Osmart, there's a clear file. There's a tote bag from Amazon, which is like I almost like of any of these things, that seems like the most interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But you can get a mouse pad if you can find a mouse to use. I guess, this is Japan, right? They'll be watching their 480p DVDs.
I wouldn't mind having a baby metal mouse pad. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
I mean, considering that would, oh man, now I've got to consider, do I, but that's from Toys,
Toy Story, it's the Toys Factory outlet.
Yeah, Toys Factory, and that's, I guess, is that like available online then to purchase, or is that like an in-store sort of thing?
No, you can do it online. I think that one is a little harder to do. Like, you have to interact more with the Japanese site to do that one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you do.
Because I would totally love to have the mouse pad, because for those who might be aware of me, I'm very gamer-esque, and I have a big computer tower, and it's baby metal themed, and it's red and black. Actually, I named my computer tower Moa, and the mouse pad would be a fantastic addition to my setup, my rig, as they would call it. So now I got to figure out if oh no, do I want to do this or not?
Yeah, it's a tough call, because to do that rather than the U.S. store, if the U.S. store was your alternative, that's a lot of shipping for a mouse pad that you could probably just print yourself.
I know, that's true. I could.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm weird about that sort of thing, like having the official versus like printing out something. I don't know. I'm really strange about that. Well, that's really strange. I'm sure there's other people that are like that too, but that's just kind of my thought process on that, I guess.
I agree. I would probably not have a mouse pad if I couldn't have the official one. But
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I have my World of Warcraft one. It'll work, I guess.
But there's one thing that's actually really, it's almost comical. It's as comical as it was last time they did this. But if you buy the standard or first press Blu-ray or DVD, and then also buy the CD, so if you buy the live audio, as well as the sort of low tier video, then you can enter a lottery for one of 100 Baby Metal original cushions. So
yeah, but they did this before too. It was a cushion as well, but they were decently sized, I think, and it was decent quality from last time I saw. So,
but then there are only 100.
Yeah, but I think the last time they were also limited to 100 as well. I think.
Yes, that is true. I don't know if they're the same. I mean, so I don't know if this now means they were limited to 200 or whether. I think the design is different. I think this is going to be.
It'll probably be a 10 metal baby metal years, most likely.
Yeah,
it'll probably be the golden black motif.
Yeah,
But only the Fox God knows of that one.
Another discussion that's happening in the chat is about the CDs. I guess maybe there is some ambiguity about that. My interpretation had been that the CDs have the same thing that the videos have, which means one of each pair of night. But it sounds like
so. Well, typically for a show, a single show, there was always 2 audio CDs split up. Right. Usually for the first CD would be for the first half of the show, and the second CD would be for the second half. So if there was 5 shows that are being broadcast, divided by 2, or times 2, I should say, that's 10 audio CDs. So it's 2 for each show.
Yeah, and so that's what I was assuming. But so Kevin, maybe you're more in tune with what's happening in the chat.
Yeah, so the discussion that's going on in chat is why are there 10 CDs?
Oh, okay. So we just explained it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Essentially.
Oh, okay.
The question is, why is it 10 CDs and why didn't they do it like the DVDs? My answer to that question is they may be the same set list, but they're different performances. There's going to be different nuances. It's going to sound differently each night. They're good, but they're not so good that they are robots, right? Mm-hmm. It's not going to be exactly the same each night. So you might prefer the way Sue's saying make it a one night versus the other night, even though it's the same set list. That's why you include it.
Okay.
That's my interpretation of it. The other way it could go is half the tracks are on one disc, half the tracks are on the other disc, and they're huge.
Well, okay, so how did Legend S work?
It was also 2 audio CDs.
Right,
it was
exactly.
2. Yeah, it was 2 audio CDs.
But so my question is Gimme Chocolate on there twice? Like, do we have 2 Legend S Gimme Chocolates, one out of sync and one in sync? I bet we don't. Because the first night there was an error and she was out of sync. But I bet that is not represented on any of the audio CDs. I'm pretty sure that it's just they just put like half the songs on one. Here, let's see. Open iTunes. What does iTunes say? Yeah, so I think basically the question boils down to, if I understand it correctly, are there 6 songs on one CD or 13?
Yes.
That's essentially the question.
That is the question.
Yeah.
To me, it makes sense to have 13, one for each night. That's how I would want it. Legend M was 2 discs, 7 tracks on one, 8 tracks on the other.
That's, I think that probably is definitive.
Yokohama is the same way.
Yeah. So we're looking at something like 6 or 7 tracks per disc, and not the 26 tracks total.
Right.
Tokyo Dome was 4, 2 for each night.
Okay. That's probably pretty comparable.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Is it so we've wandered off into the woods here. Is there anything else that we wanted to say particularly about the stuff that's being released? I think
no, not really. I mean it was what we expected and plus more, actually. Definitely wasn't expecting it to be released worldwide for the album itself, which is pretty cool. Like you said, we were kind of expecting the one complete edition, but the limited edition is a nice quote edition. So it's cool. But I guess there is maybe not necessarily about the editions themselves, but if for those who have been playing the 10 Baby Metal Years game, who's been following the whole entire update of information on the official website, there is still one more box that has a question mark in it.
Yeah. We got edition 10 of the album, but we still had 10 things, and we don't have the 10th one yet. This filled in the 9th one.
Yep, this was number 9. So yeah, there's something else going on.
The other things were like the tournament and the Katakawa volume and stuff like that. So like
and the release of the Budokan and the Rockmade Con live stream, and I can't remember what the other one was, but and then the actual live stream for this for the world premiere, essentially. So but no, we still have one more 10 Baby Metal Year thing to go. So I'm curious to see what that would be.
Well, and there's a fair amount of time left too. So the I think we're basically considering when does the 10th year start? I mean, like I guess it was October, right?
Yeah,
October.
It was October 10th.
Yeah. So oh yeah, of course.
That was supposed to be 10/10 day, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have basically up until then before it ticks over to the 11th year, and so that's probably there's still some time to have something happen. And actually, this we were just talking about that before, but all these things that we're talking about buying, their release date is September 29th. I mean, like that's still quite a ways away before we're going to see any of these
That's
things.
a few months, yeah. Oh,
and the vinyls are going to come out.
The vinyls was one of them.
Yeah. I think some of them were even coming in October, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe. Yeah, because some of them were being split up by release times, and I think the last one was at the end of September.
I think like October 29th.
Okay.
Oh, it is October. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was September.
It's out there. I've completely pushed them in the back of my mind, knowing I'm not going to get them for months.
Right. Yeah.
I'm just waiting for my big box festival. That's all that matters. I am prepared and I'm ready for it to be hanging on my wall and for me to be listening to it.
Oh, we got that. Did we? I think we haven't recorded yet since we got our metals hammer, right? Or have we?
We have not.
But, I don't think so. No. But
so, do you like your poster?
Yes, I have it framed and I'm super excited. I'm going to hang it up here soon. I have one of those floating frames where it's the glass and you put it on the glass and then it looks like it's floating inside the frame. So I've got that and I'm really excited because I've been waiting for an art like piece poster or something like this for a really long time. And the one and what's nice is it's the one for the shirt that I did not get. So I'm really excited about that because I really liked it. It's the Throne, I believe, is the t-shirt set that it was called. It was the last set of t-shirts that was released with the Budokan shows. They did it as the print, as the 300 print. But the only kind of disappointing thing, the one thing that's disappointing, but I'm not going to make like a super big deal of it, but it's a little disappointing that they did not actually number the prints this time.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know what number I had, but at least it's one of the 300. So that's cool to know. But it would have been kind of nice to, have it notated, I guess. I don't know what may have caused the issue on that regard, but I know that there was a lot of issue with people like it being over ordered and a lot of people had theirs canceled, which I was very sad because I was like, that was the specific reason why I bought this is because I wanted that print. Right. So, but yeah, so no, I have it and it's in frame and it's ready to hang up. I just need to figure out how I'm going to hang it up with my other stuff.
Yeah. I think the previous Metal Hammer one was numbered. Like I'm pretty sure that there were numbers on those.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was numbered. I think it was limited to wasn't it like 666? It was like a weird number, or 444. It was some odd number. You know what? I think it was 666. Because I remember somebody posting it, being like, "Hey, I got this one. It was the 666 one or something." I could be wrong. It's been a long time, so bear with me.
I remember the posters at the forum were numbered, and
yes, those were too.
But I think that actually multiple people have the same number.
Well, there was two separate distributions of it. I think I have like 160 something, number 160 something. I'd have to look again because I'm curious now. And unfortunately, I have something covering it right at the moment, so I can't really see it. But
in the chat, Dragon Fury points out that there were two series, one that ended with 250 and one that ended in 375. And that's right. Actually, now that I think about it, it did have both the number and the number out of, on it.
Yeah, it did.
But I have to look at mine. I don't remember. Anyway, good. Yeah, so the poster though, it was not, as I had feared, newsprint, but it was actually, like sort of cardstock.
Yeah,
right?
It's a nice quality. It was cardstock. It's really nice.
So I guess we should probably wrap it up since time has gotten away from us again. But
yes.
It's been an exciting, couple days.
Yes,
Definitely.
it has. It's actually been quite nice. It's nice to be able to feel a little bit of weight lifted off for some odd reason, but you know, a lot of us are chipper.
Rejuvenating power of music.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and now we can just sort of like put, you know, in the back of our minds the thoughts of all those yen flying away until, you know, it'll become a new like Christmas surprise in October when these arrive or whatever.
Exactly.
Good. Well, thanks everybody for joining in. You know, happy end of Metal Resistance or whatever it is.
The end of the
See
free world. I don't know.
See you at the top of the staircase.
That's right.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it for this episode. You can join us on the Baby Metal Podcast Discord to continue the conversation. Rating the podcast on whatever platform you listen on will help people find it, so please do that. We'll be back here in about 2 weeks. We hope you'll join us then, and until then, see you.